This here is a $1,000 GPU, and this is a computer that someone threw away into the dumpster. So naturally, today we're gonna figure out what happens if we combine them together. Let's find out. You see, for the past few months, I've been trying to figure out a way to turn these eWaste computers into actual gaming rigs. And I'll be honest, so far we've run into a handful of issues. I want to catch you up. Now, the GPU of choice I have picked out is a 7900 XTX. And this thing is a beast with 24 gigs of video RAM. It would be a huge, huge upgrade from the integrated graphics of this 4570. But if you're taking a look at what I'm seeing, well, there's two main problems that immediately jump out. The first is the spacing of this PCIe. I just don't see a world where we're actually going to fit this card into the motherboard exactly where it is. But you know, risers exist, so I'm not actually too worried about that. What I am worried about though is the issue with this guy right here. The existing power supply inside of this Dell computer was certainly not manufactured to be able to handle something as power intensive as a 7900 XTX. And if we look very carefully down here, we can see that this is rated for 255 watts, which is like a quarter of what we need for this GPU. So yeah, this is gonna be the main issue that we're gonna try to solve today. Because if we combine these together, I'm pretty sure this would make for a pretty sick PC, albeit with one giant bottleneck. And while I did my fair research to try to find the most powerful power supply that can fit into one of these Dell Optiplexes, well, it turns out the wattage just never gets high enough to serve something like the GPU we want to use. So now the question is, how do we replace this power supply with a normal one that you would find in a typical PC? Because I do happen to have an 850 watt ATX power supply, which would give us enough power for this GPU, but there's another main problem. The actual cabling from this power supply will not work with this board. Proprietary cabling, man, that's so lame. As you can see here, this is the motherboard power cable coming directly from the Dell power supply into the Dell board. And it's only 8 pins. Well, I guess 7, because this one's empty right here. Whereas a normal ATX power supply motherboard power cable has like 24 pins. And unfortunately, we can't just plug this into this. Although these 4 do fit. Wait, does that work? I've never tried that before. I would be a little cautious because the receiving pins and the sending pins might be doing things that are not expected and could cause actual damage to the computer. So instead, what we're gonna do to be a little bit more safe is to use an adapter like this, which should allow us to connect a 24 pin and then have an 8 pin to plug into this Dell motherboard. And if you look at where these cables are actually getting pulled from the 24 pin, it's definitely not the same as just like the far left pins that are actually plugging into that right now. So I'm thinking our assumption is gonna be a safe one. So let's go ahead and remove that and plug this end into the adapter, just like that. And now with our 8 pin, we should be able to plug this directly into the motherboard. Yeah, okay, awesome. We're essentially gonna try to bypass using this Dell power supply at all, which means we also need to unplug the CPU power, which we can do that by removing that cable. And we can replace that with our new power supply CPU cable, which I don't think is proprietary. So I think this should be able to slide in and not give us any issues. Ah, perfect. Okay, that one fit perfectly. So what else is getting power down here? Oh, the hard drive is getting some kind of janky power. You know, let's actually just remove this power supply altogether. A, to give us a little bit more room, and B, to make sure we don't accidentally cross-contaminate any of these wires. I also just realized, yeah, there's definitely no way a GPU is gonna fit inside of here because this is so skinny. Although now I'm curious if we could use one of these Dell power supplies in an actual desktop PC. That would be pretty interesting, but I guess we'd have to use a PC that has specs that don't need much power. Because like I said, right now this is rated for like 250 watts, which is not a lot. How does this come off? It's definitely stuck on something else. Oh, okay, there was a hidden latch. All right, extracting the power supply. All right, there we go. So it was only those 2 cables that we had to worry about. The CPU power and the motherboard power. Does that give us enough space for our GPU? Okay, the verdict is no. So we're gonna have to use a riser, which is totally fine. No, I'm not sure what generation this PCIe is, but you know, given how backwards compatible these are, I feel like it should just work with our GPU. But what we'll do is just extend the PCIe slot so that we have a little bit more space to play with. We'll plug that in, and now, hypothetically, we should just be able to plug in our GPU into this extended slot. Yeah, just like that. And now that this setup has an ATX power supply, we should just be able to use the PCIe power cables to plug directly into our GPU. And just like that. Beautiful. Which means, is that all we have to do for this to work with the GPU? I think let's just go give it a shot. Now, assuming this does work, obviously we're introducing a pretty huge bottleneck in the sense that we're using a really old CPU and a really modern GPU. So how that'll actually translate to performance in game, well, that's kind of what I'm curious about. All right, let's stand this up. Also, if this does end up working, it'd be fun to make an enclosure because this case obviously does not fit all these things natively. But okay, so now we'll plug our new power supply into power itself, just like that. And now we also need to make sure we plug the video output into our GPU and not our motherboard. But okay, the moment of truth. Does an eWaste computer that someone threw away work with a $1,000 GPU kind of MacGyvered into it? Well, time to find out. As we press the power button, okay, fans are spinning. That's a good sign. I'm not seeing any like puff of smoke or like electrical burning, although we are getting no signal. That's not a good sign. Why are we not getting an output? My initial thought is that our PCIe riser isn't allowing the GPU to like actually give an output. So let's try installing an older generation riser to see if that gives us any other output. We definitely have like a mishmash of technology going on right now. Come on, there we go. This PCIe riser also goes from 1X to 16X, although I am going to plug it into the larger of the PCIe ports. And unlike our other one, this one requires additional power. So we'll first go ahead and plug our GPU into it like that. And now we'll take another cable to plug the Molex into. Molexes are so difficult to plug in. Okay, there we go. All right, let's give that another shot, shall we? So now with our older riser, if we press our power button, same thing, we get the fan spin to life. However, we're still not getting an output. It's entering sleep mode, which is not what we want to see. How do we get this GPU to work with this super old computer? I feel like everything is plugged in correctly. Right? We have our power supply here, which is plugged into this cable, which is now feeding power into our motherboard, which we can see by way of our fan spinning up here. We have our CPU power plugged in up here, which I guess I could try to see if this is not the correct cable, but that's plugged directly into our power supply as well. And our power supply is also feeding our GPU, which seems like all that's plugged in correctly. And then we also have our display port plugged into our GPU, which is connected to our monitor. So what's happening? Oh my gosh, wait, we got an output. No, okay, okay. It turns out our SSD was not properly powered. So our SATA data connector was plugged into our motherboard, and I thought this was giving it power, but it turns out it needs this additional cable. This is like, I don't know, like a mini SATA? I've actually never seen this before. And so when I unplugged that from the motherboard, we actually did get an output, meaning our GPU is working with this old computer. Now we just need to find a way to power our storage device. Because importantly, this has all of our boot stuff. I actually don't fully understand why these cables are the way they are. Can't I just plug a normal SATA power into this? Like what is this cable doing? Plugged in somewhere onto our motherboard. But I'm gonna see if we can just bypass that by plugging this SSD directly into our power supply SATA cable. In my mind, it seems like it should work. Well, let's see what happens in reality. And then we'll go ahead and plug it back into our motherboard. And if we do that and power this back on, any luck at all to boot Zorin OS from our SSD? Whoa, okay, that's fantastic. Although, alert, front IO cable failure. Actually, maybe we can just bypass this altogether. Oh, boom, baby. Oh my gosh, there we go. Okay, so it took a little bit of finagling, but we were able to get this 7900 XTX to work with our Dell Optiplex 3020. So now let's see if it can run video games, because previously we could not. The system just simply wouldn't allow even something like Counter-Strike 2 to launch. So now if we go ahead and open Steam again, I'm not sure if I need to install any drivers or if AMD was even the correct choice for this. I know there's a huge community around gaming on Linux machines, one that I have not been involved in for many years. I used to game a lot on Linux like a decade ago, not so much anymore. But I know compatibility and drivers are like a huge deal, especially on Linux, because it just doesn't support quite as many hardware specs as Windows does. But remember, this computer does not work on Windows at all. So let's see what we can make with this. Okay, so the system is recognizing the 7900 XTX, which is a fantastic sign. But will it play video games now? The funny part is we can only test one video game at a time because the disk capacity is so low and games nowadays take up so much space. But okay, without any further ado, let's see if this can play CS2. Let's see if we can launch it. That's the first step, right? We'll go ahead and press play. Oh, it's launching. Okay. All right, Vulkan is actually running, which before it was not. This is looking super promising, albeit it's taking its sweet time. I don't mind though. We have patience. Oh my gosh, it's launching. This is farther than we've ever gotten on this machine. Holy, I cannot believe how smooth this is. I mean, I know we are using a $1,000 GPU, but like this, nothing was working at all. You couldn't even launch this game before. Whoa. It's been so long since I've gamed on Linux. I remember there being issues with like anti-cheat kernel access with a lot of games, especially online multiplayers that want to prevent you from cheating by getting kernel access. But we're about to run Counter-Strike 2 on our Dell Optiplex 3020, running off of Linux. It's compiling shaders, so it's taking a little bit of time. Oh, we're in, baby. A little bit more frame droppy than it was in the menu, which makes sense. Let me see if I can turn down some settings, I guess. To be fair, we're also launching this at a 5120 by 1440, but okay. And it basically set everything at super high. Just for the sake of this, I'm gonna see what happens if we just set everything to low. When nothing's happening, this is surprisingly smooth. Oh, we got a kill. We're on the board, baby. Oh, okay, that guy turned on us. You can see it's kind of jumping from like 80 to maybe like 170 FPS as we're playing this game. Okay, I mean, again, we are using a $1,000 GPU, so I would hope so. But like, also, it's working. This is awesome. All right, let's clean up. Man, who needs Windows? We have this whole setup working without it. On an eWaste computer, no less.
Hello there.
Okay, no scope. Obviously, competition in any market is a good thing. That's also the case when it comes to operating systems. Whether you historically use Windows or historically use Macs, you should be rooting for Linux as well, because the more options just makes it so those companies need to work harder to like retain their actual users. And a lot of the times that retention comes through with improvements. I'm gonna go till I can get at least 2 kills in a row. Oh, that's 2. Can we make it a third? Oh, we sure can. Guys, we're popping off. I know our setup looks extremely janky, but like I said, it's working without Windows on a computer that was quite literally thrown away and discarded as e-waste. And all we had to do was add a $1,000 GPU. And so to recap how we turned an e-waste machine that cannot run Windows into a machine that can, well, play video games super smoothly, the main challenge was getting around Dell's proprietary cabling and like power supply stuff. Now the cable I found to go from an ATX 24-pin motherboard power into the Dell's like 8-pin proprietary one, I got that one on Amazon for less than $20, which means in addition to that, all you need to bring to the table is a GPU and a power supply. That's it. And of course, an operating system that will run without the requirements of Windows 11. But this just proves that there's still so much life inside of these computers that are deemed e-waste. Just because the most commonly used software is deeming these computers as obsolete, it doesn't mean that the components themselves aren't able to work. You just need to find the right environment for those to work in. I'm gonna be exploring a lot more of Linux gaming now that I know how easy it is to set up, because I am curious what the limitations are. Like I said, I know there's some issues with like kernel level anti-cheat, so I'm not saying this will be able to play every single game that you can play on Windows, but well, time to do some more research. That's all I got for you today, so thank you so much for watching. I've been Mr. Yeaster, your tech tinkerer, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh yeah.